So this is 3.2 part 2, and now we're looking at domain and range. So domain is another word for the x values or the horizontal values on the graph. Range is another word for the y values or the vertical values on the graph. When we do domain and range of a set of points, we omit any duplicates. And we write the domain and range from smallest to largest. Oops. Right, from smallest to largest. Okay, so here, remember domain is x, so we're going to focus on our x values, and we're going to write them from smallest to largest. So our smallest here is -3. Then our next one is 0, and then 2. Ugh, that's a terrible 2. 2. We do the little wiggly brackets. The range are the y values. So for my range, I have -5, 1, and 5. So these happen to be in the right order. But if they weren't, you would have organized them from smallest to largest. Okay, looking at the next ones, we'll look at our x. We have 2, -3, -4, and 9. So these aren't in the right order. We have to reorganize them. Our smallest one is going to be -4. Then we have -3. Then we have 2, and we have 9. So we'll put them in order. Then we'll look at our y values. We have 0, 0, 2, and 1. So remember, we need to omit repeats. So we're not going to write one of those zeros. We're going to organize them from smallest to largest. So we write 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so that's how we do domain and range for when they were given points. Now we can also do domain and range for graphs. So these are continuous relations. So, our graphs here have arrows that mean they go on forever. So in that case, and they also are continuous because it could be any point or any little tiny point in between. So we can't describe every single x or y value, okay? So instead, we're going to use ranges. So here we need to know some inequality signs before we can do this. Okay, when you have it this way, it means greater than or equal to. So the larger number goes on the open side of the symbol. Okay, so like this, it's like an open mouth here. That's pointing to the larger number. So like this would be 9 and 7, saying 9 is bigger than 7. Okay, less than, and the little line underneath means or equal to. So if you don't have that little line, it just means greater than. With a little line on the bottom, it means greater than or equal to. Okay, so the one going the opposite way means less than or equal to. If you have a point on the graph, for example, down here, okay, a black point, it means included, so you use your greater than or equal to. You don't have any examples here, but if you ever see an open point, so instead of being a black point like this, it's like looks like a little O, it means it's not included as part of the graph, and you would just use greater than or less than, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at this graph. So at these graphs and do some examples together. So I'm actually going to start with B because I think it's easier to understand B. So we're going to be looking for two things. We're going to be looking for a domain and we're going to be looking for a range for each of these questions. So remember, the domain is the x values. So we need to figure out the furthest to the left and the furthest to the right point on the graph. So in this case, there's no number, so we're going to assume that this is 0, 0, and then each of these is 1. So this here is at -2, and this here is at 2, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to put our x in the center. We're going to put -2 on one side, and we're going to put 2 on the other side. Then we want our open part to be facing the larger number. So like this, because -2 is smaller than +2. Okay, so this means that x can be in between -2 and +2. So this is how we would write this out. For our range, we need whatever is the bottom of the graph, and we need the top of the graph. So this is 0, and this is 4. So now we're going to do the same thing, but with y. So 0, y, 4. Okay. Let's do, which one should we do next? Let's do E next. Okay, so in E, whoops, we're going to start with our domain. So we need the furthest to the left and the furthest to the right. So in this case, we have -2, x, 2, and our range is bottom and top. Oops, so this is -2 and this is 2. This is -4, and up here this is 2. Okay, so we're going to write -4, y, 2 on the top. Okay, so our highest points and our lowest points. All right. Next one I'll do is A. Okay, so A, we're going to start with left and right. Now here, this one is a little bit different. You notice that there's arrows. Okay, so these arrows mean that if this is going into infinity. So it's going into infinity up for infinity forever, but the end point is this here, which is at -2. Okay, these lines are also slightly widening a little bit. So there, as you go, they're widening forever into infinity. So this means that it's forever going this way, and it's forever going this way. So for D, we can say it's all real numbers, or we can just write the infinity sign. Okay, either one you can use. For the range, the smallest number is -2, and we write y, and our largest number is infinity. Okay, you can look at C now. Here, on the very far right, we have -2, or sorry, on the very far left, and then this is going to go forever to the right. So our domain is -2, x, infinity. Our range, so just like those other ones, if you go far enough, it's slowly widening. So that means that it's going up forever and it's going down forever. So that means this one is also all real numbers, or you can just write infinity sign. Okay. I'm going to do F next. So F here, this is a straight line at an angle. So it's forever going like this. That means it's going up forever. It's forever going this way, so it's going down forever. It's forever going like this way, out. So this one is forever going up, down, left, and right. So for each one, you can write just infinity or all real numbers, all real numbers. Okay. The last one we have to look at is D. D, they're giving us unconnected points. Okay. These are unconnected points. They're not continuous. So that means we have to use this method up here. If we ever have points that aren't connected, then you use your the other method. So we have to write out what these points are. So this point is 0, 3. This one is 1, 2. This one is 2, 1. And this one is 3, 0. Okay. Then I'm going to look at my x values. I have 0, 1, 2, 3. So no repeats, and they're already in order. Okay, and then my range. I have 3, 2, 1, 0. So no repeats, but they're reversed. So I have to write them as 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's how you do that one. So now you're going to go to page 118, and you're going to do number 10. So it's similar to this. Okay. But you're only going to do the letters that I've specified here because there's a lot of really complicated ones that are too hard. So you're just going to do A, C, E, G, I, J, K, L, M, N, and O. Okay, so just these letters. Skip any that are not mentioned here. And that's the end of section 3.